Very pleased to be joined on the line right now by Merritt Centennials head coach and GM Luke Pierce. Luke, you've got your spring camp coming up. I guess I should say first off, thanks for taking the time to chat here today.
Yeah, my pleasure as always, Brian.
So I guess we can't really call it a spring camp, seeing as how it's officially taking place in summer, but it's down in Abbotsford. It's this weekend. How does this differ from the camp in Merritt and Abbotsford, or in April?
It's not really a whole lot different. It's what we found here was that doing the camp in Merritt, we wanted to keep the numbers down again to a manageable group of about 4 teams, and we really focused a lot on the the Okanagan area, some out of province kids, and some kids from the north. And there's such a huge number of players and a huge demand for kids to get into camps from the coastal region that we felt having a camp down there would give an opportunity to some more kids and give us a chance to kind of get the Centennials out there a little bit more. So having the second camp has been, seems to be successful so far. We'll see once we get it done with what our thoughts are on moving forward, but it's really just a chance to reach out to a larger pool of kids here.
Have you found, too, that when your camp in April was full, that you had some other players saying, hey, are you having another camp? And in that case, they're coming down to this one now?
Well, that's really what kind of started us to put the second one on, is we had a huge response for our camp here in Merritt, and once we saw that we were kind of over full, we kicked in the other camp, and we talked to a lot of the kids from the coastal area and said, look, we've decided to put on another camp in June in Abbotsford, and if you'd rather attend that than the one here in Merritt, then that would work for us. So a lot of people took that option, and that opened up some spots for us here in Merritt. So like I said, so far it seems to have worked out fairly well, and we'll reassess it once we're done.
Is the message the same that you talked to these players that it was, again, here in April, the fact that every spot on this roster basically is open?
Yeah, I think it's always been our attitude, and I know I've had some people look at our roster on the BCHL site is a lot very misleading. Jeff Jones is still listed on there, and Brett Collins, who's never played a game for us, is listed on there. So we'll get that straightened out. But I know some people are looking at that roster saying, "Wow, they're full." And
too many 20-year-olds, obviously.
Yeah, there's some 20-year-olds that need to move on. There's some other players that need to make some decisions on what they're doing, and we're obviously looking to make some changes. I mean, we lost in the first round last year, so we're going to make some adjustments, and we encourage kids, obviously, to come out and prove that they belong in the league, and if they do, we'll find a way to get them in.
Any local players attending the camp this weekend?
We do have a couple. Yeah, it's obviously grad weekend here for a lot of them. So most of them were at our Merritt camp, so aren't making the second trek down. But we do have both Zach and Russell Sanderson will be at the camp, and Griffin Bailey as well. So a couple of the younger guys from Merritt, which is great to see.
And how about some high-end prospects? Are there any guys, and I know you don't want to name names without putting any pressure on them, but are there any guys coming to this camp this weekend that you're really, really eager to see if they can play at this level?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always a group. There's some that we're very familiar with that we're just want to see again, and there's others that we've heard a lot of good things and haven't seen yet. So, and there's some that we haven't heard and we don't know what to expect. And those ones sometimes are the most exciting to have in because they, can come out of nowhere and really surprise us. So we've got a young man coming out from Newfoundland, possibly one from Northern Ontario here. So we're pretty excited about some of the guys we've got coming in.
Now, how set are you right now in the teams that are going to be taking part in it? I would imagine you're doing a tournament type of format. Are you still taking players to come in, or are you looking at closing things up here pretty quick?
Well, we're essentially kind of closing things up. We're going to give this last week, there's always the last minute, someone got injured playing soccer or doing something that has to drop out, and then the last minute people that pop in. So we're pretty much full, but we're going to leave a couple of spots open just to accommodate any last minute things or like I said, potential for some kids to drop out and be replaced. So we're going to run 5 teams in the camp, practices all day or evening Friday, and then on Saturday, Sunday, kind of run a tournament. So we're looking forward to it.
How about if anyone from Merritt wants to come down and check it out? Where is it, and are they welcome to come and see?
Yeah, people from Merritt are always welcome everywhere. You know that, Brian.
Especially
the camp's taking place at Center Ice Arena in Abbotsford. I haven't been there yet myself, so I can't even give you directions.
That's okay. Could just look it up on Google, I would think.
Yeah, exactly. We'll find it. I wouldn't trust your GPS because Abbotsford is under major construction. You might get lost.
But obviously, people are welcome to come down.
Yeah, for sure. It's, it'd be a lot similar. I'd encourage if you're interested. Saturday's probably the best day. It's games from 10 in the morning till 9 at night, so you'll be able to take in a lot of good hockey and take a look at some hopefully future Sents and some of our returning guys. I'm sure will be around as well to check it out.
Now this is the second year that we've had two camps, I know, for the team. Did back in 2009, and you weren't really involved in that. I say two camps, meaning we had a spring camp and then we had main training camp. This year, essentially, you're having three camps if you include your main camp. Do you feel that this is a better way to have a look at things, or do you think that you're opening yourself up kind of to so many guys that you need to make decisions on? Because you mentioned to me after the season was over that you were looking at your main camp being basically a small group and invitation only.
Yeah, and I think this camp really replaces what we did last year as our main camp, where we had 95 players and had to trim our way all the way down to our roster. So that's why we've decided another reason to add this camp was to get all that out of the way and have all the prospects come through, do their routine at this time of year as opposed to in late August. And when we hit main camp here in Merritt, there'll be probably about 40 kids.
Is that including returnees?
Yeah, including returnees. So you're looking at, possibly 22, 23, 24 first-year guys, somewhere in that range. And we'll run a week long of, pretty in-depth stuff here with testing, with, some inter-squad games back and forth. We'll switch up teams and lines, and we'll run it very, very, specific to some of the things we want to incorporate into our team this year. And felt last year that we got off to a pretty slow start because we didn't have any time to work on system play or anything like that because we had spent so much time trimming down our roster.
And so many newcomers, too, last year.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, we've got a huge advantage this year that we've got a big returning group and we've also got, an extra 3 weeks to prepare. But I still like the fact of, bringing in a solid 40 group, a group of 40. You got, a group of guys that are challenging for spots on your roster, and you got a group of guys that you want to find and keep in your AP system and get them on a junior B team somewhere that we can keep, in our streamline, and that's kind of our goal for the camp.
Now, how much Joe Martin obviously has come on as an assistant coach here midway through the process after you announced the Abbotsford camp, but how much has Joe taken a role in getting things ready for the camp, and how much have maybe some of his contacts brought a different look to some of the players that are coming, or has it happened that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Joe's been tremendous. He's really got the details of the camp in order here. He's managed to find hotel deals for players and families there. He's got meal deals at the arena, at the restaurant there.
Right.
He's getting all the little things done that really kind of separate your camp from the rest and make it an enjoyable time for people. And he's boosted our registration probably for another 50% of guys, and he's brought in some guys that weren't on my radar or that I hadn't heard of. So he's done a great job, and he'll be kind of the man in charge when we get down there on the weekend. So be a good chance for him to really get his feet wet. So
what happens after Sunday wraps up? Are you having a top prospect game, and what message do you give these kids? Are you sort of earmarking how many you might extend invitations to, or are you just sort of leaving it open right now?
Yeah, it's tough to really tell every single kid that you want back in main camp at the right time, right on Sunday, because we have to wait and see. Some kids maybe leave and go sign somewhere, or they want to attend another camp. So we'll kind of, as the weeks go by after the camp, just slowly contact the kids that we would really like to see in our main camp, and we'll have a good conversation with every player on the Sunday after their final game and give them our thoughts, and then we'll go from there.
Being just 8 weeks away from your main camp, is it full speed ahead right now?
Wow, that's pretty close. I didn't realize how close that was, but yeah, we're in things are really picking up here now, and
maybe
the AGM being done obviously a few weeks ago, it kind of really kick-started everything. So it's been busy, and we're getting pretty excited.
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe 9-10 weeks. I could be stretching things because I know a lot of people are looking forward to it, but it's still getting closer and closer.
Absolutely.
All right, Luke, thanks again. And, hey, can we touch base after the camp to see how things went?